I think the whole parks plan, we spent 18 months working on it. All it does, it comes out with a plan that we asked for on how do we keep park, these parks attainable? How do we get new parks? How do we come up with the money to provide information or new equipment for parks? How do we add new items to the parks? So the decommissioning part of it is just it's a target. That's one of the things that you have to look at. When we first got in, when I first got here 5 years ago, there's 750. There still is. There's 750 acres of parkland, 55 parks, probably twice as much as any other city our size. So you have to take a look at it. Your study, your engineering has to take a look at that. I mean, that stands out like a sore thumb. I'm a little bit. I was a little bit surprised they only come up with 17 acres out of the whole 756 or 764, whatever it is. But it's to look at. So we're not decommissioning anything now. That's going to have to take a whole new vote in front of the council. So if administration comes and said, hey, let's decommission these two parks, there's going to be a lot of people asking why, and there's going to have to be a good reason for it. And then there's also not only there's going to have to be a good reason for it, but you're going to have a good use for it. So you can't just stick anything in there. So whether it's giving it to an organization or the local landowners, or if let's say a house fits on it, and that fits fine in the zoning, that could be a possibility, but it's going to have to come back in front of the council. It's going to be up in the air, but I don't see anything timeline. I mean, the administration doesn't have any quick plans to decommission anything.
There's not one on the chopping block or anything.
There's not.
So you mentioned the 17 acres. You mentioned how there's twice as much per capita. Is there a idea in your mind is it just the mowing? Would you like to see 100 acres of it not be there at some point? Where are you at with that?
I don't even have a number. I suppose if we can go, a lot of people mention the native grasses and stuff. If we can make a whole park work for native grasses, or let's say it's a community garden, I think the council would certainly look at something like that. So we don't have to take it totally out of the park system, but we can. Let's just use Mason Park, for example. I use that tonight. Senator Blood used to be council member here. She worked hard on getting Mason Park going with some vegetation and where you don't have to maintain it so much. So what we could do is actually have an MOU with that group. If she wants to make a group, put it under that group's name, and they're responsible for the upkeep and plantings and along the ways they keep their end of the bargain, and they keep the park. So, but it takes it off the city's expense.
Well, and the city would view that as decommissioning the park. It would be handing the use over to this other group.
Sure, there's all kinds of different ways.
We're talking about.
Yeah, there's different ways to do it. You could outright sell a piece, I suppose. And I don't know. The only one that comes to mind right now, you got North Park and College Heights. Obviously, somebody's going to say, "Wow, 2 or 3 houses fit great there, and it's not going to ruin anything." But they made some good points. There's no local baseball field there, so I think the nearest one's probably McCann. So for kids, that's probably an important thing. So that council would have to decide. Now, I don't know what they'd say about it.